Hey guys, Francis here. Welcome to my building coach. So I've got one thing to share with you today, which is really important. It's something that if you don't know this before you start your home extension project, it can cause you some fairly major problems. And at the same time, it's probably the most common mistake you can make. When you're planning to extend your home, it seems obvious that you're going to need help. And you should be able to get the help you need throughout your project from someone who actually knows what they're doing, like an architect or a designer or a builder, etc. But what tends to happen is, despite all the different people who will be doing work for you at the various stages of your project, like they'll be drawing plans, they'll be doing structural calculations, they'll be helping you get planning permission, or they'll be checking everything's been built correctly. But despite all of the different people who'll be involved, none of them are going to be managing your project for you. What they will be doing is their own individual jobs. And you will be managing your project unless you're paying someone to manage it for you. You're going to be in charge, which means that you'll be making most of the decisions and the choices that will affect what you end up building. What it looks like, how long it takes, and ultimately how much it's all going to cost. So even though you've got all these different people working for you, you don't always end up getting the help you need to manage your project. So with all of my clients, I start by ensuring that they understand what their role is in their project. Because your role as homeowner and project manager is the most important one. Yeah, it's the most important role because if you start your project without knowing that you're going to be in charge, then you're going to get a bit of a reality check at some point. And in my experience, homeowners that don't realize that they're going to be managing their own project right from the start are way more likely to end up going over budget, simply because they're hoping that someone is going to come along and rescue them. Yeah, they're waiting for someone to come along and show them what to do, what choices to make, and it simply doesn't happen. Now, I admit that it is a bit crazy that you, as a homeowner, with little or no experience of managing a project like this, or perhaps even having any major building work done, would be expected to manage your own home extension project and get it right first time. To make all the decisions and choices that will determine what you end up building, how long it takes, how much it's all going to cost, and to do that without getting the help or the training or the guidance you actually need. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but that is basically what happens. And it often just comes down to luck, whether you have a positive or negative experience of planning and building your home extension. Like if you're lucky, then you'll find the right people who'll help you and guide you through this process. And what that often means is those people are going above and beyond what you're actually paying them to do by taking the time to help and guide you and ensuring that your project goes well. But getting that kind of help without paying for it doesn't happen very often. Home extensions going over budget is usually not for lack of making intelligent or sensible choices. It's not for lack of education or ability or anything like that. In fact, one of the most common pitfalls that happens during the planning stage happens because homeowners make what on the surface appear to be really sensible, rational choices. They have questions like, what's possible and what is it going to cost? And they know that they're going to need some plans drawn. They don't know how to answer those questions, so they make the rational, logical choice to find an architect who can answer them and who can draw them a set of plans for their project, trusting that the architect, with all their years of experience, will obviously be able to draw plans that match their budget. So that seems like a really obvious way to start an extension project, and to take the first steps and get answers to questions, get plans drawn, and get planning permission. Brilliant. But the pitfall that most commonly happens is that homeowners end up with plans for an extension that they can't afford to build because architects are reliably poor at drawing plans that match your budget. And I don't mean like off by a few £1,000s, I mean off by like 100%. So you can make what seem like sensible, rational choices and still end up wasting money just through lack of experience or not getting the help you need. So if you're going to be managing your project, which is generally what happens, then you're going to be at the center of all the decision making and all the communication between the different professionals who are working for you. You're the one that's going to be pushing your project forwards to keep it moving. You're going to be chasing people for answers, proactively solving problems and checking that everyone's got what they need in order to do the bit of work that you're actually paying them for. Now, being at the center of all that can feel a bit overwhelming, and it can be a bit daunting, especially if it's not what you were expecting to happen at the start of your project. And to be fair, it's not really what most homeowners expect this process to be like. So it's really helpful and important to know before you get into this that that's going to be your role, because ultimately being in charge means that you will determine whether or not your extension project succeeds. So today I just wanted to give you that heads up. Hopefully this is a useful bit of information that you are almost certainly going to be your own project manager, the most important person in your project. And what you need in order to do that well is the right guidance. You need to know how to find accurate answers to difficult questions, how to solve problems, and how to make choices and decisions that are right for your project so that you end up building the space you want without spending more than you need to. For more home extension help and advice, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.